Hey everybody, this is Bat Merc. Today I'm going to be reviewing Conan the Barbarian number 21, and this is the start of a new arc. We got this awesome cover right here by Dan Panosian, and man, just really loving his inking style, man. If you guys haven't checked out his store, it's Urban Barbarian. He's got a lot of really cool T-shirts on there, and pretty brutal metal shit, you know. But his inking style, man, like a lot of it reminds me of like more Drucker, like Jack Davis, a lot of like the Mad style magazine artists. Love it, man. Just he just goes in there. I saw him on some art stream about a month ago called the Studio. So definitely killing it on these covers. Hopefully he'll do a story maybe for Savage Sword or Conan one of these days, or an arc. You know, uh, got some cool pastiche right here too, guys. And also, if you guys didn't know, right now this is Hot Word Days. Today is it's the 11th of June. It's a Wednesday, and it's starting up this weekend. So we have Jeff Shanks, the archaeologist that does his spots in the back of his issues. He's got a YouTube channel. You guys should check it out. He just landed over there, and got some cool videos up. So I'll put a link in the description so you guys could go and sub to his channel. So you guys got to go check it out. So we're starting off a new arc right here. We're right here, right on the border of Stygia and Kush. And pick up from where we left off. Conan of Cimmeria has lived more than most men. First as a thief, then a pirate, now a wanderer. Though he has yet to see 30 winters, having endured the extreme passions and fathomless loss of his pirate queen Belit, Conan continued roving the land under the infamous alias Amra the Lion. Coming to the southern Black Kingdoms, the Cimmerian lent his steel-set strength in tribal war and earned the loyalty of the Bamula tribe. Now, after rescuing Livia, a princess of Ophir, from certain death in a vale of lost women, Conan and his Bamulas ride northward to return to Livia to her people. But here, on the border between Kush and Stygia, the Cimmerian and his allies must soon find that no good deeds go unpunished. So, we start off with this awesome splash page right here. He's fighting this demonic beast. You know, it's a perfect way to start it off. I'm digging the artist that they're bringing on to the team. Same thing with the guy that did the last free comic day. That guy was a killer too. Just really bringing in some fantastic artists. Here we go. Conan is fearless against beasts and monsters. A physical threat, no matter how nightmarish it can be, or overcome with brawn and blade. And after this tumultuous supernatural events of the past few months, even a wing-born horror like this makes no sense to the Cimmerian and his sword. Yeah, Conan's been through some stuff, guys. If you haven't read the last 20 issues, best Conan stories in the last probably 30 years. So you guys got to go pick them up. You know, it's a good time to jump on. You can go pick up the trades or the single issues, or get them both. Let's see here. Returning to Shadizar in a dreamlike haze after crossing and conquering, or questing to Atlantis with Kol the Conqueror and Brule the Spear Slayer. The visions of the distant past faded from Conan's mind as he rode far from the trappings of civilization. He soon fell in a motley brand of mercenaries, but though that hailed from the lands of he knew well and treated him fair, he never felt part of their company, though. As shown, so you guys could check these, issues out 9 through 12. Go pick those up. These men pursued wealth and status above all, and the barbarian knew such fleeting rewards would not satisfy him. Just digging the artwork right here, loving the colors. You got the cool, you got the warm, you got the decay green right here. Just yeah, really digging it. So, thankfully, the reputation of the Amra the Lion bodyguard of Belit had spread fear amongst the Black Kingdoms, and he was able to befriend them. So now he's with this new crew. He's got some buddies. He's got the camaraderie. They're kicking some ass, taking some names. He's helping them out. He just slayed the beast from the first issue or the first page. Now in an eerie vale of lost women, he had routed a foul creature and saved Livia, a daughter of Ophir, who's been captured by the Bacala and was set to be sacrificed. Well, what was that thing? A devil from the outer dark. But a man like myself, with a sword, is a match for any amount of fangs and talons. Come then, my men await me beyond the ridge. So again, digging this art. I like his draftsmanship and his panel work so far. Really digging it. I feared that you've been killed. That valley is a better place, unspoken of, my friend. Conan and the Bamulus rode northward. So transparent could be arranged for so transport could be arranged for Livia to return to her people. With the exhausted girl now safe in the Cimmerian's arms, another quest had come to an end. Awesome piece right there. I love that panel. Yeah, this guy's killing it. We did see some of his art too on one of the previous reviews that I did, and they were showcasing it. I believe this is one of the panels. Again, I love his storytelling. Great panel work. He really packs in a lot of panels in the pages. I love that. Or so it seemed. A town near the border between Kush and Stygia would be a good waypoint on their journey for much needed resupply and rest. But upon their arrival, it seems a bit too good to be true. Welcome all. Ugh. The people of the Dant are delighted to see you. Conan has never seen such broad smiles and gleeful offers of hospitality, especially for a well-armed foreign fighting man arriving from afar. Do they think we're nobles? Cool shot right there, someone's spying on them. The locals exceedingly follow them through the center of town. Greetings, welcome to the town of Dant, an oasis for travelers betwixt the lands of Kush and Stygia. It is our pleasure to serve all who bless our town with their presence. I didn't see any guards posted. Don't you have problems with bandits or raiders in these parts? Not at all, my large friend. Kindness begets kindness is our credo. We are happy to be a haven from the ill will shown elsewhere. I see. So all these ladies, they're encircling the princess that he's taken back, the hostage. Keep your flowers, girl. I will do without. This guy looks creepy. They're going into this inn right here. Refreshments and fine lodgings await. Yeah, I don't know. Don't trust that guy. Yeah, never trust anyone that's that happy. Go inside. Awesome piece right here. Loving the color holds right here. You get the foreground blues, midtown, mid-ground pinkish oranges, like that. Conan steals his nerves for some kind of trap, but upon entering the Cimmerian is surprised to see a clean and welcoming tavern. More visitors! How fortunate we are! My group is large. Will you have enough room? Of course. We'll prepare a feast worthy of you and your fine warriors. Your prices are surprisingly low. How do you make money here? Kindness begets kindness. Sure, buddy. Again, really cool expressions on the artwork. I really digging this artist. Minutes later, the air is filled with stirring smells and delectable smells brought in from the kitchen. Sights and smells. Sorry, guys. Sit, eat. Everything will be taken care of. Test your food carefully and do not drink any of the wine. So we must stay on our guard. Something about this feels strange. Of course, Amra. So like hours later, they're all wasties, drunk. Conan's chilling. He's got his lady. As hours go by, and even more fine food and drink are brought to the table, even the most steadfast of the Bamula warriors give into the temptation, eating much and drinking deep. By meal's end, Conan, eaten only enough to sustain himself, nothing more. Despite the festive air, he will not relax. So right here, the lady, she's like, "Oh, I got something I promised for you." He's like, "Okay, very well." So definitely, Conan does this thing with the lady. Try to keep this sort of PG-13. But yeah, once Livy is suitably exhausted, and night shadow mantle has arrived. Let's see here. The Cimmerian is ready to explore his surroundings in secret, to see Daint after dark, and discover if this oasis is all it purports to be. Loving the paneling right here, man. Awesome storytelling and sequential art draftsmanship. Like a great jungle cat, Conan leaps from ledge on the end, and then he swiftly pulls himself up as he climbs nearby buildings to get closer to where he hears the townspeople gathered. A glance within reveals an awkward sight. So everyone's down there chilling. Yeah, getting cool faces. See, he probably drew that whole face right there. You know what I mean? And then he erased it, because that's what I would do. All that's awesome. He really put in the work. This artist did. The people of Daint still a smile, seemingly as gleeful as ever, even as they subsist on a humble meal of bread and water. Yeah, it's pretty brutal, man. They're just like Ned Flanders, just laughing and smiling the whole time. But there is no happy chatter to match those expressions, and their grinning faces seem even more forced than before. Stronger still, another group carries large platters of food off into the darkness. Conan's curiosity is piqued. So is his stealthy. So he stealthily follows the strangers to the edge of the town and watches as they pour the contents of their platters into a barred pit. For a moment, he assumes this must be some kind of stockade for animals. But then why would it be so far away from the rest of the buildings? What are they trying to hide? After the men complete their delivery and leave, the Cimmerian carefully moves in so he can get a closer look. Again, loving all the little panel work to confirm his foreboding suspicion that the town's generosity is only a ruse. So there you go, man. They got people down there. What's going on with that? All right, I'm gonna leave it right there. I don't want to spoil the book too much. I want you guys to pick it up. I want you guys to go out there and buy it. The more people are reading this, the better. We want to get more Conan, more Howard, more Solomon Kane, more of the good stuff, guys. There's definitely more action in the back of the book. So yeah, try not to spoil all of the reviews all the time, but there's some big reveals too, and it's been a long time. We've been waiting a long time for that reveal. But we'll jump into the cover gallery. Let's just say there's someone in the back, and it's that time. So we got the Dan Panosian cover right there. Got the Maria Wolf. She's a badass too. She's done a lot of really good work. Yeah, especially with the homie. She co-created a really cool character. We got the Brandon Kinney. We got the Mindy Lee piece. Bunch of the Virgin ones right there by Panosian. We got the Jay Gonzo. I think this guy's a pretty big deal. If it's the same guy that I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's pretty badass. Nice. Sorry, guys, trying to get the camera to zoom in on the inks. That's how you know that you're dealing with a really good colorist, because they don't paint over the ink. And we're gonna learn a little bit right here about Thoth Amon. Okay, he was in the second movie. He's Conan's main arch nemesis. He's like he's like his Joker, if you will. And in the movie, I always look at like the movie Conan the Destroyer is like Marvel Conan, and the Milius Conan the Barbarian is kind of like sort of Conan. Anyways, he's in that one. He's the dude with the red beard, that turns into a monster, and then they have the epic fight, and then that painting is so perfectly painted by Robert E. Howard, or by Frank Rosetta. Sorry, but let's get into this. This is by Jeffrey Shanks. We'll have a link to his channel in the description, so you guys can go sub to his channel. All right. I was a great sorcerer in the south. Men spoke of Thothamon as they spoke of Remen. King Setsfon of Stygia gave me great honor, casting down the magicians from the high places to exalt me from above. They hated me, but they feared me, for I controlled beings from outside which came at my call and did my bidding. Robert E. Howard, the Phoenix of the Sword. Thothamon is known as Conan's arch nemesis, a powerful evil sorcerer from ancient Stygia. But the evolution of this intriguing villain through various media over the last century is a complex story. Thothamon debuted in 1932 alongside Conan in his very first story of the series, The Phoenix on the Sword. And they do a little bit of that in the Conan cartoon. He actually gets the Phoenix as one of the characters. Didn't get to finish it, but if you guys check it out, Conan the Adventurer, there's an awesome interview with the lady that created the show on the Conan the Barbarian channel. And dang, I gotta finish that show. I gotta find it. It was on Tubi forever, and I didn't finish it. Me and the boy were watching it. Anyways, the Phoenix on the Sword. He begins in a rather pitiful state, stripped of power and enslaved by an exiled Aquilonean noble named Ascalante. We learn that much of the sorcerer's power comes from the Ring of Set, which allows him to summon demonic creatures from the outer dark to do his bidding. Using this ring, he is said to be more powerful than any other sorcerer in Stygia, and it was a true power beyond the throne. The ring was stolen by a thief, forcing Thothamon to flee his homeland, lest he be killed by his rivals. When Thothamon discovers Escalante has his ring, he kills his enslaver, reclaiming the artifact of his power, and returns to Stygia, though not before using it to summon a monstrous demon, which Conan manages to dispatch. Phoenix is the only story in which Thothamon physically appears, but he is mentioned in several others, in The God and the Bull, written shortly after Phoenix, but set over 20 years earlier. A young Conan, then a thief in Numidia, encounters and kills a half-man, half-snake creature sent by Thothamon as a trap for a rival priest. In The Hour of the Dragon, set several years after the events in Phoenix, we learn that Thothamon was indeed able to reclaim the position of Stygia once he had his ring back. Part of my French, or part of my, let's see, how would I want to say this? Yeah, Hyperborean. Thutmose of Kima, a rival Thothamon of Thothamon and fellow member of the Black Ring, secretly plots to overthrow him. When Conan defeats Thutmose, he inadvertently helps thwart a threat to Thothamon. Thothamon was also mentioned in a pair of non-Conan stories, in the James Allison story, Marchers of Valhalla. The living goddess, Eshithar, claims that Thothamon cursed her with eternal life, and in the story The Hunter of the Ring, Professor John Kirwan encounters the ring of Thothamon in the 1930s. It was not until the 1960s, with the introduction of new pastiche works by L. Spurg de Camp and Lynn Carter, that Thothamon was elevated to the status of Conan's arch-nemesis. In Conan the Buccaneer, Thothamon searches for a powerful artifact known as the Cobra Crown, and Conan has to stop him. In The Treasure of Phrynikos, de Camp wrote the Howard story, The Black Stranger, replacing a generic Stygian sorcerer with Thothamon. And finally, the Conan of Aquilonia and older King Conan and his son Khan have a final showdown, with Thothamon ending their rivalry once and for all. At Marvel Comics, Roy Thomas followed de Camp's lead, making Thothamon something of a supervillain for Conan. He has a brief cameo appearance in Conan the Barbarian number 7, the adaptation of God and the Bull, and makes his first appearance in Conan the Barbarian Annual number 2, an adaptation of The Phoenix and the Sword. He would go on to make numerous appearances over the years in Marvel's various titles. In other media, Thothamon appeared in the 1984 film Conan the Destroyer. See, told you. Though the character was just a generic evil wizard. Later in the 1990s, animated Conan the Adventurer, the sorcerer is the main antagonist throughout the series under the name Rathamon, the servant of the serpent god Set. Yeah, but Rathamon was pretty fucking metal, though, I ain't gonna lie. He was a really cool design, totally like 90s cartoon. I was loving it. I almost wish, yeah. Fuck it, yeah. I wouldn't be mad if they put Rathamon, if Zub threw Rathamon in here. Maybe tweak the name a little bit, because it's a little on the nose, but the design of Rathamon is pretty fucking cool. He threw in the Milius sword. He threw in the Milius sword. He could probably do that. That's some deep cuts for the cartoon watchers. The servant of the serpent god. While thought the Mon has gone through many iterations over the years, it is now the great pleasure that heroic signatures in Titan Comics reintroduces the Stygian sorcerer to modern readers. And many set, have mercy on your pathetic little souls. Yeah, so we're going to be looking, I guess he's going to be coming. Possibly, maybe, possibly. But you guys got to go out and pick up the book. We got this awesome cover right here by Dan Panosian for the next issue of number 22. That is badass. Yeah, I'm loving that cover. Killer. And then we get a little back and forth right here with the new artist. This is a really cool interview. He's talking about his style, you know, how we go into it a little bit. What work of yours beyond Conan are you best known for? I'm proud of Cyber Noir creator, own graphic novel I wrote and drew called Smart Girl, published by Titan in 2021. I took a leap of faith and invested all my money, time, and effort into the project for 2 years. I learned all the parts of comic production, from writing to lettering, which gave me great insight into the big picture and taught me more about what it takes to tell a story. The work I'm probably best known for is my 5-year run at DC Comics, drawing Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Justice League, and Suicide Squad. What artists are you inspired by? This was cool to know. Conan has had the most amazing lineup of talented artists in the world of comics. Among the classics, I've always felt influenced by the pounding energy and line style of John Buscema. See, and you can see a lot of Buscema in his work. I see a little bit of Kirby here and there too, personally. Little stuff. But more importantly, I'm also overwhelmed by the talent of Rudy Nebres and all the Filipino artists from the Tribe of Studio. Artists like Ernie Chan, Alfredo Acala, Alex Nino, Jerry Talak. And in my opinion, these artists are responsible for the energy and the atmosphere of the Hyborian Age comic world. And I can't forget Gil Kane, whose anatomical expressionist style is a masterclass on every panel. So go ahead and read this. I think he's doing a great job. This is his favorite panel in the book. I don't know what my favorite panel is without spoiling too much. But it's just his work is killer. I mean, that one's cool. That one's awesome. But that one's really dope too. I like that one a lot. That's probably my favorite one, maybe. It's classic Conan, you know. It's like, what's my favorite page in here? This page is pretty dope. I like this page. You know, it's just, you know, he's really, really good artist. So looks like we got him lined up for the next 4 issues, including this one. So, you know, he's gonna have his own run. It seems like that's the way that Zub's been running it. He does 4 artists, or he does 4 books, 1 arc. You know, he's writing and then he brings an artist on. That's the best way to do it. And I don't know who's going to be in here after 24 though. So we'll see. You know, we'll see what they got cooking. But looks like we're lined up for a barbaric summer. Thanks everybody for watching. Everybody out there and Howard Days. Hope you guys have a awesome weekend. Always remember to be bold, be brave, and roll the bones, snowy roll. We'll see you guys next time. Keep it fucking metal.